This video is a video to help you coach up a new IBO that's signed up in the business and having their first PBR. See, we came up with this coaching call that's done 72 hours prior to somebody having their first home meeting. Now, this call is the most important call that IBO is ever going to have. So can we agree, if they can't invite people to the living room, they're not going to have a great launch to their business. If they can't put people in their living room, they're not going to get a lot of customers. So this call is extremely important to the new IBO. So after I set up somebody's PBR, and let's say it would be on a Wednesday, I would set up their 72-hour call. So I would say, hey, look, Sunday, we need to block up a little time, and I'm going to call and I'm going to practice a couple things with you. Number one, the script. The script that is at the bottom of the screen here that we use to invite people, I'm going to give that to them, make sure that they have that, and they're ready to practice it when I give them a call. Now, here's how a 72-hour call runs. It's very simple. First question I ask them is this: how is the inviting going? Now, when you ask that question, you're going to get one of three types of answers. You're going to get somebody that says, well, I haven't really called anybody yet. I was waiting for this call. Here's what I say: fantastic. I'm glad we're on the phone. I might have somebody say, Mike, well, I've called a few people and nobody's really interested. I'm always positive. So I'm saying, oh, don't worry. You got to get some no's. You just got a few up front. Or I've had people say, Mike, I have 30 people coming. Now, don't get too excited when they have 30 people coming, because remember, that could be a beginner's mistake. You don't know how they invited those people. So no matter what they say, I'm positive. And here's what I do, is I have them invite me. I start role-playing with them. Now, what does that mean? I invite them, and they invite me. In two places that I really have to have them work is one, on their why they're doing the business. And the other thing is teaching them how to edify. See, it's extremely important to help them with these two things. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite you. I want you to make sure that you get this invite down so you can teach it. But when I role play with them, I call them up. I say, hey, I want to ask you a quick question. Do you look at other ways of making money? Yes. I don't know if you know this, but I've been working on a car lot for 9 years, and I'm not getting rich. And I just started looking around at other things. I ran into a company that deals in new technologies and energy. But let me tell you, I met this person named Patrick Mazer. A little background on him, business owner, but he started with this telecom and energy company, and right now he's having massive financial success. Yeah, you heard me right. Massive financial success. He's doing so well that, he's expanding his business to our backyard. And Wednesday night at 6:30, I got a half hour of his time where he's going to show me and a select group of people what he's doing. Now, what are you doing Wednesday at 6:30? And can I put you down as coming? And that basic script, I'll practice back and forth with them until they get it, until it flows. And then I'll start asking them questions, because the reality of people are going to ask you questions. And questions are, what is it? Can you give me more information? Do they need any money? Is it network marketing? Questions can be a various amount of things. But it doesn't matter what question they ask. Here's how I answer every question. Are you ready? If somebody asks me a question, I always compliment them on the question. I say, you know what, that's a great question. I don't know all the details, but here's what I do know. The company deals in telecom and energy. The gentleman name's Patrick Mazer. He's having massive financial success, and based on his success, I want to hear what he has to say Wednesday at 6:30. How about you? Now, would you agree sometimes people will ask another question? Okay, great, but can you give me more information, ... I always come, that's another great question. I don't know all the details, but here's what I do know. The company deals in telecom and energy. The gentleman, his name's Patrick Mazer. He's having massive financial success, and based on that success, I want to hear what he has to say Wednesday. Now, we're all going to have people in our lives, and you're going to find the closest ones ask you the most questions. If they asked you a third question, is when I just got honest with people. I'd say, look, now my background was the car business. And if you'd ask me a third question, it'd be like, look, I'm in the car business. That's really the only thing that I can speak educated on. And, that's why I have the expert coming to my house on Wednesday. If you're interested, great, I'll put you down as coming. If not, I'll put someone else in your seat. Now, guys, it's so important that you role play and practice this, because here's what I find. 90% of this business is the invite. Can they fill their living room with prospects? And if they're great at this, they'll have a phenomenal launch to their business. Now, after they get good with the script and we practice it, well, let me give you a couple tips. of how I get people good with the script. One, I email it to them, so I make sure they have it. Number two is I have them write it out. Here's what I find is if people actually write out the script, they make it more personally theirs. You know, how many of you were in school when you wrote something out, you tend to remember that fact a little longer than something else? And the third thing I have people do is actually record themselves. And how many of you recorded yourself? How many of you watching this video recorded yourself when your script? Would you agree we're our own worst critic? And by doing those three things, it dramatically improves their script, which dramatically improves their launch of their business. Now, after we get good with this, and they're good with the script, and we invite back and forth, the second question I ask them is this: how many A players are on your list? Now, what's an A player? Over a decade of doing ACN, here's what we found. These are the three types of people that do ACN. You ready? Number one is a business owner. See, business owners are entrepreneurial, business owners understand business, and we're showing them a business opportunity. So you're going to find that they gravitate immediately to the business. The second type of people that do this are people that are in this industry. This industry is called MLM. There's other companies that do what we do, but they're primarily in a product-based opportunities. When you show this business to somebody that's already done this or had experience with it, they come in, they bring their experience here, their contacts here, and you watch their businesses explode. Or the third type of people that we qualify as an A player are people that make over $100,000 or more a year. Would you agree if you're working for a company and you're making over $100,000 or more a year, you're more like an owner than an employee? Meaning you're probably the guy at on vacation with the computer around the pool. You know, everybody else is a B player. Now, if you don't have this conversation, here's how they invite. You know, how many of us did this? This is what I did. They said write a list. I remember they had me write a list, and now I'm a broke car salesman. So guess what my friends were? Broke. So I immediately put them down. My buddy Charlie, my buddy Sean, my buddy Tim, my buddy Chris. And then I immediately started doing this. I went after my Uncle Bernie. I'll tell you about my Uncle Bernie. He was 40 years old. He lived with his mother at the time. So, you know, I thought he might have needed an opportunity. And then I thought I was onto something, and I went after my neighbor Jack, who was unemployed, and I was taking my business into the ACN Peace Corps. I mean, you realize there's no money in the Peace Corps, but here's what I was doing. Wasn't thinking like a business owner. I wasn't going after these types of people. See, here's what I found over a decade or more doing this business. These are the individuals that sign up in the business. So it's extremely important to coach them on who to invite. Now, the third thing I talked to them about is a confirmation list. A confirmation list is just very simple: name, phone number, occupation. You know, with a confirmation list, here's reality. 40 to 60% of the people that actually say yes will show up just with a little confirmation call. Now watch this. Without a confirmation list or a confirmation call, 0 to 20% of the people that said yes to the presentation will actually show up. Now, you want the 40 to 60? The confirmation list is needed. Now, the fourth thing I do is teach them how to set up the house. Now, what does it take to do a PVR? Make sure you have a DVD player. Make sure you can play the video. Make sure it works. That's important. Number two is I have them keep the snacks light: chips, dip, coffee, water. And the third thing is clipboards. We do all our presentations on the clipboards. At the bottom of this video, you can see the 1 through 8 presentation, the application, and the flyer for Saturday training. I just have that on the clipboard. And to end the call, here's what I do, is I will three-way in upline. Someone that's in your upline. Why? Because the first thing we're going to do is edify you. The first thing we're going to do is build your value. And then we're going to have that prospect, the host, we're going to have the host actually invite us to hear their first invite, and then we're going to encourage them to make a lot of phone calls. Now, you implement this in your business. When we did, it changed our business overnight. Good luck. Have fun doing it. And remember, some people are easy to coach and some people are hard to coach. Just be patient with your downline. Good luck.